Ahoy, it's Alicia from Time to Travel on board Scarlet Lady, and I'm going to show you through one of my favourite suites on board, and that is a brilliant suite. We're at 14229 Zulu. I've actually stayed in this exact cabin before, but on a different ship. So let me take you through. So this is the Rockstar category as opposed to the Mega Rockstar category. If you've seen my other suite tours, you will notice that it is very similar, if not identical, to a gorgeous suite. It's just down one deck on deck 14. So here we do have the full length mirror. This is the vanity. There's a little seat there, you can get ready. Lots of storage here for you, hair dryer, your TV remote's in there. This is kind of where the ladies would get ready of an evening for a big night out on the town. Right behind you is the cupboard space. Now this is a 4-berth cabin, so you'll find the 4 life jackets in there. There's your hanging space, safe, and a couple of drawers there. Not a lot of storage, but it's really going to be enough for a short voyage. You also have your laundry bag there as well. Don't forget to itemize if you are putting in a load of wash and fold. They do replenish your water daily, and here you do have a US and European plug point. The bar is still being set up from the last sailing, but in this cabin category, you basically get one set of bar. Once it's finished, it's finished. If you are in a Mega Rockstar category, they just keep replenishing it all week, but not in this cabin. You do have your bar paraphernalia. Beautiful glassware here. There is ample drawer space as well, and some more drawers underneath here, as well as your refrigerator. Your splits will be there, and there'll be some bits and pieces in the fridge for you. Refrigerators typically aren't that cold, so you can just ask your Rockstar agent or your room steward for ice every day. As with all suites on Virgin Voyages, you do get your turntable and a selection of records. Let's see what we've got. Pretty much you're guaranteed to have Sex Pistols each time. We've got Pharrell. Tubular Bells is another one that is very common, as is Mark Ronson. They do have these heat mats to protect the benches from hair straighteners. These are a new addition. I'm guessing that a lot of bench tops were getting damaged because of it, but it's great that it's here. Now, I did mention it's a 4-berth cabin, and this is where you'll get the extra 2 beds. Now, perhaps you don't want it set up as a double bed. If that's the case, they will give you a separate single bed. So potentially you could have 1 bed, the single bed, and then the 2 here. Now this is the big bed. You have your blue blanket because you're a rock star. So if you're a rock star, you get blue. If you're in a regular cabin, you get red. I've mentioned this before in some of my other cabin tours, but if this is your first time seeing one of it, these corners here, guarantee you're going to hit your knee on it at some point. So you can ask your room steward. They can fold a towel over it to just like create a buffer. But I'm really disappointed that when this ship went into dry dock, they didn't do something about these beds. So Resilient Lady has the curved bed, but Valiant and Scarlet still have the shin breakers. But it's a beautiful bed anyway, lovely and comfortable. On each of the bed sides, you have 2 USBs and a US power outlet. And then you have some great under bed storage on this side. This is where you can put your suitcases. I've put in there 2 suitcases, 2 rollerboards, and some backpacks. Like, there's a lot that can fit in there. On this side, a little less space because you do have drawers, but drawers are always handy. And that's the height you've got. From here, you've got the peekaboo window into the bathroom. It's a super sexy bathroom. It is my favorite on the ship. I actually enjoy this bathroom more than a massive suite, which is the biggest suite on the ship. The reason being is I love this long shower. There's a huge rain head, a handheld, and there's a seat because, you know, when you're a rock star, sometimes it's hard work and you just need to sit down and relax. You can see out into the room, wave at your friends. If you aren't traveling with someone that would see you naked, you can get them to frost over that mirrored area. Heaps of space, storage down below. You've got a handy shelf up above. Virgin give you these makeup towels, which are great because you can completely stain them with your makeup. And then you've got your toilet. And of course you get your Rockstar robes, which I love. So on the back, it says Rockstar, and on the front, it should say Scarlet. Sometimes you see people heading up to Richard's rooftop wearing their robes because you're a rock star, so why not? Full length mirror. And this chair, not totally comfortable, but it looks cool. You get 2 towels. Now these are for taking ashore. If you don't bring them back, you do get charged $25 per towel. I personally haven't heard of people getting charged the $25. And I've said in previous videos, I think the Rockstar should have blue towels because they've got the blue blanket. They should have the blue towel. Let me take you out onto the terrace. It gets a little noisy out here. And that's because if you haven't seen a fuel tanker, we're now bunking fuel. That's why it's loud. Take a look at the balcony and I'll talk you through it once we get back inside. So as you can see out on this balcony, it is not as deep as the gorgeous suite, which is 1 deck up. So you can see the overhang here. That's how far out the balconies are on the suites up above. So I mentioned it is very similar, the interior from a gorgeous suite, but obviously as you can see, the external balcony space is a lot smaller than the Mega Rockstar gorgeous suite. So this is the brilliant suite. As I said, one of my favorite suites on board Virgin Voyages. If you want to check more of our suite tours and cabin tours, just click here. Thank you so much for watching and happy cruising.